You know, a lot of airline reviews look at the big fish in the sea and founding members of Star Alliance, but let's not forget about the smaller minnows found in all corners of the world. The Bearskins, the Harbour Airs, and of course Regional Express. Today we're in Australia and this is one such story. Where do they fly and what can you expect on board? Come along and let's find out. Good morning and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be flying with Regional Express from Sydney to Coffs Harbour. We last flew with Regional Express a couple years ago on one of their 737s, and much has changed since then. Number one, the 737s aren't part of their fleet anymore. I believe they were picked up by Virgin Australia, leaving them flying with the Saab340s. And it's been some time since I last flew with a Saab. I think it was 13 or 15 years ago. And I'll leave a quiz on the top there where you can guess which airline that was with. Our flight is set to depart at 9 a.m., so come along as we go from A to B, and let's see what Regional Express is up to in 2026. Regional Express flies out of Terminal 3 in Sydney, and check-in is located off to the side. I visited the kiosk to pick up my boarding pass, and it was done quick and easy. The airline moved to Terminal 3 from Terminal 2 over a year ago in 2025, and should you initially pop your head into Terminal 2, you would be kindly redirected. Once I was all finished up with check-in, it was time to head through security. Today we're departing at Gate 14, which is a bus gate for Regional Express. You know, I really enjoy flying out of Terminal 3 the few times I've been here. The terminal isn't too big, there's nice lighting, fantastic views of the outdoors, and a nice selection of cafes and restaurants. As such, a morning cappuccino was in order and Lulu was the winner today. So if you guessed Northwest Airlines in the quiz, you'd be correct. And yeah, it was about 13 years ago. I was flying from Fort Lauderdale to Thunder Bay via Atlanta and Minneapolis. Back then, Northwest Airlines operated twice-day service from Minneapolis to Thunder Bay with the Saab340. Last time I was on the Saab, and I think the distance is roughly what we'll be doing today, so now you know. Anyways, we're departing at Gate 14, but until then, got a coffee, just hanging out. Our flight ended up being slightly delayed, but soon enough we started to board. And so as we head down to the bus, I'll take this moment to welcome new viewers to the channel, and I invite you to subscribe for continued aviation and travel related content, where you can check out what Regional Express's former 737 experience was like. Also, if you're watching in the first 7 days, it would be great if you could hype the video, YouTube's new feature for smaller channels. Every hype increases visibility of the channel on the platform, and it doesn't cost a thing. The last video we earned 5,500 hype points, so many thanks to those who contributed. Even though the check-in was in Terminal 1, Regional Express planes are at Terminal 2, so it's a bit of a trip to get around there. But checking out the planes up close on a nice day at Sydney Airport, out of all places, is a win in my books. I know some people love it and some people rather not use a bus, and I'm interested in your thoughts on bus boarding. Let us know in the comments. Today we'll be seated in 10A on the left side of the plane. One good thing about these smaller planes is that boarding is quick, and soon enough the door is closed and we're on our way. Today we're on a Saab 340B, one of 57 in their fleet. There's 34 seats, over 11 rows in our plane, though seating ranges from 30 to 36 seats depending on the aircraft. And there's one lavatory on board. Our aircraft is, wow, almost as old as me, first being delivered to American Eagle in June 1992. The plane came to Australia in 2008, jumping around with a couple airlines before joining Regional Express in January 2015. As we get underway, I have to say it's quite the experience taxiing in a small aircraft in an airport as large as Sydney, which is designed for the giants of the airline world. It gives you a different perspective, and I love it. We'll have a flight time of 1 hour, 9 minutes to make our way north this morning. The cabin interior is laid out in a 1-2 seating configuration with 11 rows. The last row is the only one with 4 seats abreast. The seats are blue and comfortable, and I find these older cabins, although small, a bit more forgiving, have a little bit more wiggle room, if I can say that, and they're not as rigid as the new airline seats and spacing. Seat back contains a tray table and a seat pocket, which has the in-flight magazine and a safety card. Seat pitch is advertised as 30 to 31 inches, which coincides with kind of that roominess I mentioned earlier. The only aspect which may bother some individuals is the height of the plane. Smaller plane equals smaller diameter, and you would see that the seats are a few inches above the floor. And above you have the reading light and air control. It's also interesting, there's also oxygen there too, and this is something that newer turboprops such as the Q400 don't have, as their cruising altitude is only 25,000 feet. On this small flight, there's a small service. Regional Express offers a salty or savory snack and the option of water, coffee, or tea. The CA came around the aisle to take the drink order, provided the appropriate accompaniments, and then came back a few moments later with the coffee craft. After 11 a.m., beer can be purchased on board. I went with the sweet snack this morning, and I thought it was good, like a chocolate chip shortbread cookie, and it worked well for me. And from there, with the coffee and cookies, I continued to enjoy the wonderful sights as we make our way north along the coast. There is one lavatory right at the front of the plane, and yeah, she's a small one alright. The waterworks are long gone, but there is hand sanitizer on the wall. And yeah, just watch your noggin. The in-flight magazine is where you'll find the up-to-date route map. Regional Express operates in 3 different regions, and you can't fly from one end of its network to the other. The network with the old 737s joined the destinations in the east, but this is no longer the case today. And just over an hour later, we reached Coffs Harbour. You know, these regional flights don't come with all the bells and whistles of larger carriers. There's no Wi-Fi, in-seat power, IV system, or a full in-flight meal. But you get good service with a hot cup of coffee with great crew. You also get to experience small corners of the aviation world and see how they make things work. Flying at only 25,000 feet, you're treated to some fantastic views. On these shorter routes, there really is no difference between jet aircraft and turboprops in terms of timing. It's roughly the same. I enjoy checking out these smaller airlines, and when I'm back in Australia, I'll have no hesitation flying Regional Express again. The cost of this one-way flight came out to $200 Australian dollars. Thanks for watching and checking out Regional Express. As always, I'm interested in your thoughts, so drop a comment below and I'll catch you in the next video.